Friends, now we will be discussing about the same chapter, that is reproduction in animals and plants, part 2. And this part 2 includes asexual reproduction in other organisms. So, other organisms rather than plants and animals, asexual reproduction takes place by binary fission, multiple fission and budding. So, first we will discuss about binary fission. In this method, this binary fission method is very common in bacteria, amoeba, that is all unicellular organisms, Paramecium, Euglena, etc. In this method, the nucleus at first divides into two nuclei. Nucleus at first divides into two nuclei. After that, the cytoplasm then divides into two parts, each containing a nucleus. Thus, two identical cells have formed, and the two identical cells are called as daughter cells that grows into a mature cell. Multiple fission, which is common in Chlamydomonas and Chlorella. In this case, the cell divides into more than two daughter cells. As more than two daughter cells are produced, this is called as multiple fission. And in this case, under unfavorable condition, organisms forms a cyst around its body. And the cyst is called as called as a protective wall. Inside the cyst, the cell divides repeatedly to form daughter cells. And when they get favorable condition or at circumstances, the cyst breaks down and the daughter cells gets released. And each daughter cells grows into a new organism. Budding. In case of budding, a small outgrowth called buds that develops on the body of the parent organism. At first, what happens? The nucleus divides into two. One nucleus, it migrates into the bud. The bud grows and develops into a new organism. When it detaches from the parent, it starts growing as a new plant. Sometimes these buds remain attached to the parent, and in this way chain of buds are formed. Yeast shows this process of budding. Next, sexual reproduction in plants. Now we know that the sexual reproduction is most common method of reproduction in higher plants. And flowers, they are the reproductive organs. They are the things without flower there won't be any reproduction. Though they have a different color, shape, size are different, but they have a common structure. And most of the flowers, they have four holes or layers. They are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. I repeat, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Now calyx. Calyx is the first hole or the outermost hole of flower. It is green in color and it is also called as sepals. Its main function is to protect the inner parts of the flower during its bud stage. Next is a corolla. It is the second layer or second hole, and it consists of petals. And these petals are bright colored and they are scented. They protect the reproductive parts of flower. As they have a bright color, they also attract insects like bees and butterflies that help in the process of pollination. Next is androecium. It is a third hole of flower. It is also called as a male reproductive part of flower. And it consists of stamen. Each stamen has two parts, and the two parts of the each stamens, one is called as a filament. The long stalk is called as a filament, and the swollen part is called as anther, and this anther contains pollen grains. Each pollen grains contains two male gametes. Gynoecium, it is the innermost hole, and it is the female reproductive part of flower. It consists of carpels, and that carpel again has three parts: stigma, style, ovary. Stigma is the topmost part, knob-like part, and the stigma extends to a tube-like structure that is called a style, which ends to a swollen base, and the swollen base is called as ovary. And this ovary contains one or more ovules. So these are the four holes of flower. Now, this for the process of fertilization, anyhow the pollen grain must reach to the stigma portion. That is, the male gamete must fuse with the female gamete. So this is brought about by a process called as pollination. So what is pollination? It is a transfer of pollen grains from the anther of a flower to the stigma of the same or another flower. It is a transfer of pollen grains from the anther of a flower to the stigma of the same flower or another flower. And it takes place either by naturally or by artificially. Now, natural pollinations are of two types. One is a self-pollination, another is a cross-pollination. Now, self-pollination is that pollination in which pollen grains are transferred from an anther to the stigma of the same flower or another flower but of same plant. I repeat, self-pollination is that pollination in which pollen grains are transferred from an anther to the stigma of the same flower or another flower of same plant. And cross-pollination in which pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of a flower on another plant but of same species or same kind. That is called as cross-pollination. And for this process of cross-pollination, external agents are required. Next. So, agents of pollination, it's brought by wind, water, insect and animals. First, pollination by wind. So, in this case, the flowers are very small, they are not bright colored or attractive. They do not produce any nectars, they do not have any smell. Pollen grains are produced in large quantities and the pollen grains are small, light, smooth and dry. Why? So that they can easily be carried by wind. Common example is dandelion is there, which always flies. Pollination by water. This type of pollination is very common in case of aquatic plants like Hydrilla or Vallisneria. This is the figure shown here, that is in case of Vallisneria. Here what happens, male flowers, they initially born under water. And when matures, they get detached from the parent plant and they floats on the surface of water. The female flowers, they has a long stalk, and with the help of that stalk, they also float in water. And when the male flower comes in contact to the female flowers, pollen grains gets transferred. Pollination by insect, which can be brought by any bees, butterflies, wasps, moths, etc. The flowers here are bright colored so that they can attract insect. They have a sweet smell, they have nectar. And when the insect visit flower to collect nectars, pollen grains get stuck to their body. And when they visit another flower, it gets transferred. pollination by animals. Some plants are pollinated by animals like birds, there are squirrels, bats, snails. Artificial pollination. Now, artificial pollination is the process in which pollination does not occur naturally, but it is influenced by humans when they carry the pollens of the flower to another flower and allow them to fertilize the flower. We have discussed that the pollen grains are transferred by wind, water, insect, animals. But in case of artificial pollinations, pollen grains are not transferred by these agents. They are transferred by humans. That is, the pollen grains gets transferred to the another flower artificially. Now, how it helps? It helps the plant breeders to overcome some problems. That is, if the variety is not good, so we can take the pollens from a good variety and can exchange and can transfer it to the flower. It's help us to produce a new and better variety of crops with the desired features by helping them to crossbreed and pollinate. This is a way of artificial pollination. Fertilization. Now, after landing the pollen grains, after landing on stigma, the pollen grain germinates, and this pollen grains germinates to produce a long tube, and that long tube is called as pollen tube. So at first, when this pollen grains, it falls on the stigma, the pollen grains germinate to produce a long tube, and that long tube is called as pollen tube. Now, this tube penetrates through the style and entered the ovary to reach the ovule. So, these tubes penetrate through the style and it enters the ovary to reach the ovule. Male gametes, it reaches the ovule through this pollen tube, and after reaching there, it fuses with the egg cell. And that fusion of the male and the female gamete is called as fertilization. And as a result, a single cell is produced. And the single cell is the production of the single cell, that is called as zygote. So the single cell has produced by this. Again, I am repeating. After landing on the stigma, that is pollen grains after landing to the stigma, they produce a long tube, and that long tube is called as pollen tube. Now this tube, it penetrates through the style and it enters the ovary. After that it goes to the ovules. And male gametes passes through this pollen tube and reaches the ovule. And it fuses with the egg cell. And this process of fusion is called as fertilization. And as a result, the single cell that is produced, it is called as zygote. So the steps here, the pollen grains land on the stigma. Pollen tubes are formed from pollen grains. Pollen tube penetrates through style and reaches to the ovules. It is present inside the ovary. Pollen tube bursts inside the ovule and releases male gametes. Male and the female gametes fuse to form zygote. The zygote divides to form an embryo. Now, there is a formation of fruit and seed takes place. The sepals, the petals, the stamen, stigma, every style, other parts of flower, after fertilization, they wither off. After this, they fall, they dry and fall. The zygote, it divides. And when it divides and redivides, it forms an embryo. The ovule forms the seed and its wall forms the seed coat. And the ovary develops into fruit. And that fruit is the ripened ovary. And the seed is the ripened ovule. Did you understand? So after this process of fertilization, after the formation of the zygotes, the sepal, petal, stamen, stigma, style, they all fall, or they dry and they fall. The zygote that divides and redivides to form an embryo. Ovule forms the seed and its wall form the seed coat. And ovary that develops into a fruit. So this fruit is the ripened ovary and the seed is the ripened ovule. That's why it is given the ovule forms seed and ovary develops into fruits. Now there are some home assignments for you. Write the terms used for the following: the outermost hole of a flower, the male reproductive part of a flower, the swollen basal part of pistil, transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma, single cell produced after fertilization. So students, I hope all of you understood till here. Next we will be discussing our last portion in our next video. Thank you.